My presentation is called Enhancing Plant Sustainability and Profitability, how they can live together, these two concepts of profits and sustainability. Do you have a conference pass? Okay. So I'd like to really thank our co-sponsors. We're very honored to have our name next to the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program here in Chicago and the Compressed Air and Gas Institute. So it's a real honor, and thank you for your support. It really means everything. Kicking off this year, I was invited by Air Leader to visit Chicago Heights Steel. And this is why we do this. This is why we do the magazine. That's what we mean by best practices. This plant obviously needs reliability. Without reliability, anything we do goes out the window. But they did a project optimizing their compressed air system. They had enough compressed air. But someone came in and showed them how to rearrange that system. New variable speed drive air technology, new piping strategies, storage strategies, everything you all do. They saved 2.5 million kilowatt hours, $215,000 per year in savings. They received an energy check from the ComEd people, $177,000. How about that for an ROI? That's the profitability and sustainability. Isn't that amazing? That's good business. And then something I have to work on, maybe all of us have to work on, because, you know, what do you do for a living? I'm an air compressor guy. Single stage, two stage, centrifugal, dynamic, isentropic, right? And we get these blank looks. Okay, so how are the Steelers doing? I have to work more on saying, look, this project saved a CO2 emissions equivalent of 1,795 metric tons. Now I have my son's attention, right? Greenhouse gases, 343 passenger cars per year. Oh, that's cool. Hey, I have bad news. We're not just machinery people. We're not just heat of compression, refrigerated dryers, hot gas bypass people. You probably have the biggest opportunity to make a difference in our environment of almost anyone out there. I see articles about the garden up on a rooftop, right, that helps with rainwater, and I think, well, that's neat. But it's absurd compared to what you do, right? A project like this. So this is why best practices exists. This is what you all are doing. And I just congratulate you, and that's what this Best Practices Conference is about, to bring together the people that do it. Quick background, we launched Compressed Air Best Practices magazine in 2006. The same mission, to tell your stories, what you guys do. Some statistics, we have 17,000 readers. In general, though, I focus on, you know, it's 75% factories. They're the people that make the decisions and the investment. It's 23% compressed air technology and system experts. And then 2%, the very powerful 2%, utility incentive people that can make such a difference on the profitability number. And as you know, compressed air is a top 3 utility in most plants. In some plants, it's the #1 utility. In others, it's the 5th. But it's a significant utility that helps the plant run. The quick anecdote, I think the compressed air industry should really feel good about itself in that back in the 70s, and some of you are here, you started teaching plants how to use less. And we're still getting it going. It's hard to do. Okay, I manufacture air compressors, and I'm going to teach clients how to use less compressed air. And that doesn't go over great. And it's taken time. And what we've learned is it's grown the business. It's created retrofits. It's a good solution. So it's just brilliant how the compressed air industry has invested the resources in technology and in auditors to help factories. And what we're segueing into is the Blower and Vacuum Best Practices magazine. I was asked by the readers to launch it, even though I really didn't know much about it. You know, my background's in the compressed air industry. So I was like, okay, the factories were asking for this information. We need folks, can blower people, I say, teach plants how to use less. Well, absolutely in aeration blowers, it's going full steam. Full steam ahead, Tom Jenkins. Industrial blowers, it's going, but we have a lot to work to do there with pneumatic conveying and other applications. Vacuum, I'm so excited about vacuum. My gosh, an entire industry out there with opportunities, okay? And that's one of our main themes. Well, it's a significant track. Track 3 is blower and vacuum optimization. I truly believe, I've abandoned my neutrality on this, that the compressed air industry or the vacuum, I don't care whom, but you have the skill set to do that. And teach them how to use less. So we launched chiller and cooling best practices in 2015, the same thing. You know, that's an engineering firm-dominated industry. What do they know? How can they advise clients to use fewer water-cooled air compressors? You know, they have to ask you. But is that conversation happening? How can they advise clients to move away from liquid ring vacuum pumps? Because if we do all this engineering work, we can use dry, okay? And that's where the profitability equation sometimes gets in the way. It's a lot of work. Who's going to pay for it? Anyways, we launched those magazines and with the idea of let's start that dialogue. And that's a bit of our background. I want to thank the manufacturing leaders that are here. One of the biggest challenges to projects is sharing it. You know, we try in the magazine to share it, but here we have companies who are willing to share their experiences. Some companies feel like this is confidential. These companies feel that, no, this is sustainability. We're all using this air. We're all using this water. As a corporation, we feel that we should share it. And that's why we have firms here from General Mills, Olin Brass, Fiat Chrysler, Atcor International, Bimbo Bakeries, Nissan, Ball Beverage Packaging, Allergan, Shaw Industries, and PQ Corporation. And thank you for coming and sharing these best practices. And that's how we get the ball rolling. They'll share that it's profitable. They feel that we can compete on other areas. Why do they invest in best practices? And this is busy. I'm not going to go through it all, but basically, and as a sales and service company, I'm hoping you can take, if you're a distributor or in sales, can we start teaching firms to develop these intensity metrics? Do you know your KW per unit manufactured of furniture? Do you know your KW per ton of cooling water at your plant? Do you have a way to measure it? And that's where you begin. So we go on down the line. This is why they invest. It's profitable, and they need your expertise. Resources, there have never been so many resources. We have the AEE here. I invite you to visit them. The Certified Energy Manager is a training that is standard amongst, you know, the Fortune 500 firms that are doing this. They're here and have been a great partner for us. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, this is the part of the EPA businesses like to get a phone call, the Energy Star Group. They have recognition programs you could bring to your clients of, I was thinking like Chicago Heights Steel. They could be recognized and use it in their marketing for this great work they did. They have programs, they're here to share it with you. So I thank them. The U.S. Department of Energy Advanced Manufacturing Office has tremendous programs, free resources for training you can bring to customers. And the Oak Ridge National Laboratory has also done really interesting benchmarking work to compare like industries where a client can say, how do I stack up? So everyone's here. The Compressed Air Challenge, the Compressed Air and Gas Institute, as you know, have tremendous focused training programs. on compressed air systems, and they have things to announce on that, and they continue to grow, and we appreciate working with them. So the resources to bring these things to plants have never been greater. I have a photo here of Chris to try to embarrass him, but he's the president of Blackhawk. But the reason he's here is he brings system assessment expertise. He's from the industry. And as an example, is he's gone from compressed air, he's doing vacuum, and he's doing cooling tower and chillers, and providing an amazing service to his clients. And I believe our industry, I'm hoping more people will follow this path, because the vacuum, the blowers, and the chillers don't get that kind of attention. Because it's hard to be profitable at this, but there is a way. So finally, here's a photo of the check being handed. This, you know, and I call out our leader because they introduced me to ComEd, and I'm very grateful for that. But this is a picture of the president of Chicago Heights Steel receiving his check for $177,000, along with the experts that helped him with it. And when we work together, there are amazing things we can do. It goes beyond machinery. It really is impacting the air we breathe, and that's why it has the attention of corporations. You know, it's profitable and it's sustainable. So thank you very much for being here. And with that, I'm going to introduce our next speaker.